The movie begins with Michael on stage as the crowd chants his name, waiting for a single note to drop. But first, there is a boy in Gary, Indiana, where his father, Joseph, drills the brothers through rehearsals in the living room. Joseph stops the music and tells them to breathe together to feel it. He demands perfection from children barely old enough to read. Michael's eyes drift away. Joseph snaps at him to look up here. The boy tries to focus, but his mind is somewhere else. The session ends. Joseph says they did all right, but it will feel better when they get it right. At dinner, Michael plays with his food instead of eating. Catherine tells him to stop. LaToya teases him until they both get scolded. Joseph gathers the boys and says they are ready. He books gigs in Illinois, 2 shows a night. Catherine worries about school, but Joseph says work is what matters. He says they do not know the first thing about work. He tells them they are poor black kids from Gary. Nothing will be handed to them. They must fight harder than anyone else. He asks if they want to work in the steel mill like him for the rest of their days. The boys shout no, sir. Joseph makes them reach toward the wall without touching it, arms trembling. He says reach out together as a family. He names each son individually: Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Michael, then erases the names. From now on, they are the Jackson 5. After one show, Michael tells Tito he was amazing. Joseph interrupts and demands they set up instruments for rehearsal immediately. Catherine says they have school in the morning. Joseph overrides her. He says there is no time for nighty-night and sweet dreams. Michael says they are tired and they did good. Joseph's face turns cold. He calls the boy over to him. Joseph's voice rises. He reaches for his belt. Catherine begs him to stop. The other brothers watch in silence, frozen. He says they will rehearse until they get it right. He calls Michael Big Nose and tells him to set it up. The boy cries quietly. Later, alone in his room, Michael cries. The door opens softly. Catherine whispers that it is Mother outside. Michael does not answer. He reads aloud from Peter Pan, whispering about Captain Hook and Neverland being finally free. This book is his only escape. The next day, they rehearse Stand. Joseph tells Michael to keep his eyes right here to find the audience with his gaze. The brothers harmonize. They push through the exhaustion. The music becomes the only thing that gives them freedom from Joseph's grip. Michael helps Marlon with his moves. He tells him to get his arms up. They correct each other, learn together, survive together. Joseph watches from the side. His methods are cruel, but the boys are getting sharper. The question is what it will cost them. At a bigger venue, singer Gladys Knight finishes her set and introduces the crowd to some handsome young fellas called the Jackson 5. They perform Never Can Say Goodbye. In the crowd, a Motown executive named Susan DePass watches Michael with sharp, knowing eyes. She asks Joseph if he is their manager. She says the boy has God-given talent and perfect pitch. Joseph says they are not there yet. But Susan is already planning. She tells Joseph she will be in touch. The door to Motown is cracking open. Michael steps to the microphone to record I Want You Back, but Gordy stops the music. He says Michael is moving too much. Michael tries again, but his feet will not stay still. The music lives in his body. He cannot hold it in, and maybe he should not. Joseph tries to step in and correct his son, but Gordy sends him away. He says he just needs 5 minutes alone with the boy. Michael keeps singing, pouring himself into the track. The control room goes quiet. Gordy listens to a voice that should not come from a child this young. Gordy tells Michael he has never heard a voice like his. He says Michael sang the song better than Smokey Robinson himself. For the first time, an adult tells Michael he is special because of what he has to say, not what he can earn for someone else. Gordy shows him the studio equipment, the faders, the EQ. Michael's eyes go wide. He is falling in love with the craft of recording. Joseph pulls him away, saying Gordy is a busy man, but Gordy tells Michael he can ask him anything, anytime he wants. The Jackson 5 explode on television with ABC, but the label tells Michael to say he is 8 instead of 10. In this business, you can make up anything, especially your age. Michael repeats the lie to reporters with a practiced smile that hides the truth. The machine swallows them whole. The crowds grow, the schedules tighten, but Michael drifts further from normal life with every show. He reads about the Serengeti, about lions and giraffes roaming free. He tells a friend that one day they will have more animals to play with. He keeps a rat as a companion. Someone tells him to put it in the cage and calls it disgusting, but Michael calls it a friend. Joseph introduces Bill Bray as the new head of security. He tells Bill to guard Michael with his life. Another wall goes up around the boy. Michael tells Catherine he wants a llama. He explains they have 3 stomachs and never bite. She says that is what he said about the rats. Michael says he is not like the other kids, they do not treat him like a real person. They only stare and take pictures of him. Catherine looks at him and says she knew he was different the moment he was born. She says he has a very special light inside him. She tells him Jehovah says to let your light shine unto the world. She says never let anyone take that away, not even yourself. Remember those words. On stage, the Jackson 5 perform I'll Be There. The crowd screams, but Michael is already looking beyond the family act towards something bigger. He talks with producer Quincy Jones about a solo album. Quincy says people want pure escapism, but he asks how Michael will tell Joseph about breaking away. Michael says he is not a kid anymore. He will look Joseph in the eye and tell him to his face. His breath shakes as he says it. But then he asks Quincy to tell Joseph the solo album was the producer's idea. The old fear still lives inside him, deep and quiet. The Epic Records executives say they always wanted Michael solo. They signed the whole family just to get to him, no disrespect to his brothers. Quincy Jones will produce. Rod Temperton is writing songs. The executives say consider it done, but Joseph is waiting in the next room. The executives frame the solo album as good for the Jackson brand. They say the label and the family can feed each other. Joseph listens. Joseph says whatever is good for Michael is great for him, but there is a catch and it comes fast. He says Michael can do what he wants in his spare time so long as he keeps working with his brothers. His words cut the room cold. Joseph says he owns the boy from 9 to 5. After that, it is up to Michael. The claim hangs in the air like a chain. That night, Michael whispers to his llama, Louis, about the recording. He says he is nervous but more excited than he has ever been. He says he has all these ideas constantly flowing in his head and he just needs to get them out. He promises to tell Louis everything in the morning. He arrives at the studio with Quincy and asks for the lights to be lowered. In the dark, he steadies himself. Don't stop till you get enough pores out of him. The disco strings, the falsetto, the rhythm, it is a completely new sound, a new Michael. The song becomes a hit, but remember this boy grew up under a belt. He is not done yet. The world has not seen anything. He and Quincy begin work on a new album called Thriller. Michael obsesses over every beat and every note. He pushes himself past exhaustion night after night. A track called Billie Jean takes shape. A rock duet with Paul McCartney, a story song called Thriller, each one must be perfect, nothing less. Perfection is the only language Joseph ever understood. But now Michael speaks it in his own voice for his own reasons on his own terms. Then comes the Motown 25 anniversary show. The brothers reunite on stage, but Michael insists on performing one song alone under a single spotlight. Billie Jean begins. He leans forward and glides backward across the stage in one impossible moment. The crowd goes silent, then erupts. Thriller breaks every record, 7 top 10 singles from one album. It becomes the biggest-selling album ever made. Michael is now the most famous person alive. But fame extracts a price. The bigger he gets, the smaller his world becomes. Bill Bray guards every door. Fans scream outside every wall he hides behind. Michael builds Neverland Ranch. Animals, amusement park rides, movie screens. It is Peter Pan brought to life, the escape he whispered about as a child in his room. Joseph still wants control. He pushes for a family tour. The Victory Tour happens, but Michael knows it will be the last time he performs under his father's command. The break comes. Michael separates from Joseph as manager. The relationship fractures. Catherine tries to hold the family together, but the damage runs too deep to heal. Without Joseph's shadow, Michael throws himself into his next work. He wants a sound that startles people, that makes them feel something they cannot explain. The music videos become events. The choreography becomes legend. Every spin, every grab of the hat, every moonwalk is designed to make the entire world stop and watch. But the world watching means the world judging. Stories spread. Rumors grow. The boy who only wanted friends cannot walk outside without a crowd chasing him down. Through every storm, Catherine's words echo in his mind. Let your light shine. Do not let anyone take that away, not even yourself. He holds onto those words. The movie returns to the concert where it began. Michael stands on stage, the crowd chanting his name. He has fought his entire life for this exact moment. He sings the song that started everything. The music swells and the lights blaze. The boy from Gary, Indiana stands at the center of the world. He is not Joseph's boy anymore. He is not the Jackson 5 lead singer. He is simply Michael, and that has always been enough.